I think. So really only 2 bases for Soulkey and 2 bases it looks like for Bogus. So that's pretty good actually, still in Bogus's favor. These Milas coming attacking the science vessels. There are only 3 science vessels left for Bogus. He's got 2 more, so 5 science vessels, but that loss of like 8 or 9 science vessels, that was a crippling loss right there. If he had those science vessels, he could fly about and irradiate these ultras, for instance, at will. Soulkey putting down 2 more sunken colonies. He's brought in his science vessels to irradiate these ultras, but yeah, Soulkey surely has more forces. Another Defiler, another ultra coming, plaguing again the science vessels. I thought Soulkey might have a bit more forces than that. A swarm down, swarm with ultra. Even irradiated ultra should be sufficient to hold that bridge. So Bogus is not going to be able to break there. With his science vessel count up to a reasonable number again, Bogus might still be in pretty good position. He's constantly fended off the attack at the 3 o'clock base. He's got a new base up, 4 o'clock. And if he can get that base mining and secured, he's going to be backing the economic lead. That's exactly what he needs to do to win, again, this war of attrition. So yeah, Soulkey's show moments of brilliance, like killing those science vessels, but a lot of the time it looks like there's engagement in the map. He needs a swarm, or plague, swarm plus plague, very good. These 2 ultras are going to be able to kill a lot of these mech marines. Mines going off, killing marines left and right, killing all sorts of marines. Those mines have sort of been, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it killed the ultras, but on the other hand, he lost all his mech marines too. So it looks like Soulkey bringing out another force of Lings and ultras engaging Bogus' army. Bogus needs some irradiates to go out on these ultralists. He's got not enough medic marines to hold this off, and it looks like Soulkey's going to wipe out this force in the middle. Some of the science vessels are going down too from Soulkey. This is a very nice attack coming from Soulkey, but I think Bogus, because his economy is so strong, is going to have enough units to deal with it. Yeah, Vultures laying down all sorts of mines all over the place and just killing these ultras. Even though Bogus is suffering horrendous casualties at this point, it's not going to matter much if he can keep mining from these 3 bases. On the other hand, it looks like Soulkey's managed to get base at the 6 o'clock position, which is also what he needs to do. If Soulkey can finally take down this 3 o'clock base with this attack, looks like he's managed to position his army between the natural of Bogus and the 3 o'clock base. He's forced the lift, finally. This is exactly what he needed to do, forcing the lift. On the other hand, Bogus has a massive army of tanks down at the 5 o'clock position, and he's going to defend that. He's moved his SEVs over. He's sending a medic marine force to attack the 6 o'clock position. Constant action all over the map. I don't think... It looks like Soulkey's going for the natural of Bogus, and he's got enough forces to break through at this point. On the other hand, Bogus is attacking the 6 o'clock base of Soulkey's, and he's going to be able to wipe that out, but I'm not sure whether it's worth it to lose all of his tech, all of Bogus's tech at his main, because Bogus has absolutely nothing left to defend that position. Absolutely nothing. He's got 2 vultures and maybe 5 or 6 marines, 2 science vessels. Yeah, it looks like he needs to lift his buildings now, because there's nothing he can do to defend at this point. And yeah, Soulkey is forced to lift of all of the buildings of Bogus. I'm sure he's going to float them down. Bogus does still have 1 card left to play. He has all those tanks, and I don't think any sort of direct assault at this point is going to work. I mean, the most famous Terran Turtling game has got to be Firebat Hero vs. Savior back in the day. One of the most infamous games of all times. And Bogus has barracks in the front, marines, tanks backing it up. Soulkey is massing up forces. He's probably going to try for a breakthrough attack. I'm not sure attacking at the front is wise. On the other hand, a drop could work extremely well. I mean, Bogus has got all those tanks clumped up. A drop coming on top of those tanks would do massive damage. This is also an opportunity for Soulkey to grab the 2 remaining expansions on the map. kind of silly not to lift that command center. It's like once you lift a building, the Zerg has actually, with the Ultra Ling, there's nothing he can use to actually attack air. So it's kind of silly to have his command center burn down like that. The command center is worth like 10 supply, and at this point in the game, when you lose all your supply depots, that's actually a pretty big hit. At this point, it doesn't even look like Bogus can produce. I don't see the barracks pumping. He's probably have to rebuild quite a few supply depots. Oh, he's using supply depots to block off his front. So this is going to be one of those Firebat hero versus savior scenarios. Can Soulkey effect a breakthrough with the 4 bases he has remaining versus the 2 of Bogus? Very interesting question. It's not obvious at all that it's going to be a default victory for the Zerg, even though he has more bases, because nice play coming from Soulkey, plaguing all these buildings. I think 1 plague is not enough to force the supply depots into the red. Plaguing buildings is quite nice, but on the other hand, Terran can still repair them, like Bogus is doing. Bogus sending out a few Marines in the middle, not really doing much. Scourge coming, but not going to be able to do anything with that number of medic Marines. At this point, oh no, it looks like it is enough to force the supply depots in the red. Never mind. So if Bogus is not careful, the supply depots will burn down. Queens coming out. This is a big difference. Yes, I forgot about the Queens now in mech. Queens can be a great equalizer. Mines going down all over the place in the front for Bogus. Don't attack now. This is bad time to attack, Soulkey. Yeah. Using the Queens, he's just going to wait for energy, and then going snipe the vast majority of the tanks, probably concurrently with drop and attack at the front. In that sort of scenario, I think the Terran is going to have a very hard time defending. More plague on the building has got to be highly irritating. Sneaking some vultures around to try to snipe these drones, but it's not really even mining that many minerals here. It's mostly a gas producing base at this point for Soulkey. But yeah, with the Queens with the Broodling is I think an effective counter, because you spawn Broodling on the tanks, and you can probably even withdraw your Queens to fight another day and just do that. And the Terran is not going to have, I feel, sufficient resources to get both massive number of tanks and massive number of Goliaths or science vessels, for instance, to counter. It remains to be seen how good Soulkey's micro is. He's got micro defilers, he's got micro drops, he's got micro. It looks like Bogus is pushing out, though. I'm not sure this is a correct decision. He's got a nice ball of units, but I think this is going to be a mistake. I guess he feels the need to put some pressure on Soulkey. Probably try to take that 6 o'clock position. I mean, if he can somehow secure it, that'd be great. Looks like Soulkey, though, is not going to allow him to do that. He's coming in with a massive attack. He's not using his Queens. Probably not enough energy. Massive number of Ultra Lings coming, destroying most of the tanks even. Swarm going down all over the place. Brilliant, brilliant swarms. Even though this attack failed to to kill most of the tanks of, well, I think it probably killed at least half or slightly less than that, and of the tanks of Bogus, and wiped out a good number of the medic Marines, sending out this Overlord just to scout. Once the Queens reach max 150 energy, he can start to unleash them. Looks like there might be a drop coming, or maybe even just feinting a drop, forcing mines to be laying in the main. I'm not sure he wants to actually have mines in the main, because I think a drop is still the best way to breach the defenses. But the Queen surely must be at 150 energy by this point. If he can use them to snipe most of the tanks, and then do an attack with Ultra Lurker Ling like this and swarm all over the place, he can break through. I don't know why he's not using his Queens yet. There are still an absolutely massive number of tanks for Bogus. Oh, mines dragged into all those tanks. Bogus still has a pretty sizable tank force left. Oh, now the Queens are moving out, and if these Queens snipe all the tanks, I think the game will effectively be over for Bogus. He's not going to be able to stop any sort of attack. Queen's coming. He's going to start spawning, bruling all of these tanks. There's nothing that Bogus can do to stop this. He's using submarines to kill a few of the Queens, but it's not going to matter. Most of his tanks have been taken out. His attempts at Vulture Harass are not going to work, and now a massive force of Ultra Lean coming. I'm not sure Bogus is enough to actually stop this. Even if he met huge army of Ultra Link, Scourge coming all over the place, killing off the Matic Marines, killing off the tanks, and I think this is effectively GG for Bogus at this point. So, Twirling Terry in this case did not work out at all for Bogus, and GG coming from Bogus. Pretty interesting game. Soulkey, though, even though he won this game, has shown that he does seem to have a bit of a problem picking off science vessels, for instance. I think, I mean, it's hard to say for sure how this game would have turned out if Bogus, for instance, was a superior Terran player like Flash, who would have been able to capitalize on his science vessel advantage early on like that, but at very least, Soulkey would have been able to finish this game significantly earlier, I feel, if he managed to kill the science vessels. But going on to set 4.